So, going to have to backtrack a little bit on this account because it turns out my noob account can't do this. And the reason my noob account can't do this is because it's not done unwelcome guests. The quest link related to a raptor and not helped raptor fight off the undead attacking the fort. So to be able to unlock the Woodcutter's grove, you're going to have to do that first. The quest's not too hard. I did it yesterday on the main account. It probably takes 15-20 minutes. The noob account's not the best at combat, so it's probably going to take me a bit longer to do that, or I need to train the stats up a little bit just to get by. Again, it's nothing massive, it's just something I need to do. So when you get to here and you want to unlock the Woodcutter's grove, there's going to be a NPC standing here with 3 question marks, which will be his name. Speak to him and you'll quickly learn that he's Oak, and he is going to be our new lumberjack, which will be in charge of a grove. His name is Oak and he's a lumberjack, so it's a tree. Basically, Oak needs some reassurances that his grove's not going to be attacked, and needs some reinforcements made to the northeast corner of a fort to make sure his grove doesn't get attacked. Which is not a problem because we have Big Bill. He's from the lumberyard and he's just here. Speak to Big Bill and he will then give you the option for the foundations and the reinforcements needed to make sure the grove isn't attacked. To do this, you'll find this on Miscellaneous. We'll just give you the option to do it. Once that's completed, speak to both Oak and Big Bill, and then Oak will move over to the grove to the east of the fort. Once you've unlocked and you've built your tier 1 of your grove, you are then able to build the eastern gate, which I've just completed there. This will be great for you because once you've run around a couple of times, it is really annoying, and the eastern gate will give you a nice shortcut. And then after that, you can continue building the rest of your grove cabin. Now for tier 2, and well, I'll just talk through tier 1. One thing they have done is greatly change the XP you've got, but you're going to be spending a lot more on these supplies. So for 8 wooden frames and 6 stone wool segments, the wooden frames cost me 120k, which, you know, I've got the money, I can just spend it. But if you've got wooden frames lying in your bank, or if you've got a bit of GP or protein planks hanging around in your bank, it's a good way to make a bit of quick money. Again, for free on release, the items will always be really, really high. Tier 2, you're going to need 20 teak frames and 6 of these stone segments. And finally, for tier 3, you're going to need 48 of the mahoganies and 6 of the stone wool segments. Once you've built the reinforcements to the northeast, Oak then moves to the cabin and just stays at the cabin until you've successfully built it. So I've just finished the tier 1 and the eastern gate, so I'm going to finish tier 2 and tier 3, and I'll come back to you with what's happening. So the grove is now updated to tier 3, and that last tier was a real slog. It did actually take like 20-25 minutes, so we're now free of that. As you can see, all set up now. So the next thing I'm going to be doing with the release of this update is upgrade my wood box. Basically, this works very similar to the ore box. You start at the base and then you build it up. So this is the standard one, which took 11 logs. And then what you do every time you want to upgrade, you need the previous version and however many logs it's going to take. So what I'm doing for all my wood cutting is using a tree shaking scrimshaw. This cost me like 800k, but what it does, it gives you an extra chance of bird's nest and also releases implings as well from the trees. So I do think there's a pretty high chance that you'll break even doing these as well, using the scrimshaws, and it's going to give you more chance at actually getting what you want, and that is the bird's nests. So I'm going to work my way through all the tiers. One thing I have noticed as well, obviously when you want to start woodcutting properly, you have a couple of options what to do. You can either go down the route of Grace of the Elves, use your Premier Artifact as well, make sure to get the most use from that. You could just do normal banking on the pile of logs, which is a really good update as well. It's quite nice for you not having to run quite a distance to the bank. Or one thing I was doing, I hear that maples are probably the best ones to do in terms of getting bird's nests. I'm using the Superheat Form Prayer, which is going to burn the logs as soon as I cut them, which means I can just sit and grind away on the logs. The problem with maples is though, there's no maples actually based in Forinthry, so you are going to have to go to Catherby or Sears to go and cut those. But that's pretty much what I'm doing. So now that I've unlocked the fort, I've got the passive bonuses throughout the whole game. And what I want to do now is try and hunt and get the Mikado pieces to upgrade my axe. Something to learn as well, the nests that you get looted from Miscellanea do not count. So if you had a nice stack ready for this update, they actually don't count and you can't actually get the pieces from that. That's what I was banking on, so that's kind of ruined my idea. The fairy ring in the grove, the code to go is BJP. So once you've unlocked tier 2, you've got a way to get there really quick. If you've got a portable fairy ring as well, that's even better. And what you can do is work your way through upgrading your wood box. With tier 3, things like bird's nest, either go into your wood box or to your bank. If you are hunting for the hatchet pieces, make sure to keep an eye on your bank. It will drop you a message in game as well to say that it's been either sent to your bank or that it's fallen out of the tree. So you do need to keep a little bit of an eye on it as well for that. I actually did a dragon implant and got $277, which was a free 500k, which probably paid off for most of the scrimshaw. So upgrading the box, you're going to have to go through a lot of logs, and this is why I've decided to do the G for it. It's just going to be a lot easier. To upgrade your wooden box, basically you're going to have to follow this order. So you're going to have to start with normal trees, then oak trees, then willow, then teak. After that, it's maple, and after maple, you're going to need a acacia tree, and after that, it's going to be mahogany. Then it's going to be yew, then magic, and then finally, you should be finishing on the elder tree. To be fair, at the minute, the prices of the logs aren't really that expensive, so I'd definitely go to the GE and just buy it. I think I'm going to get this wooden box for under like 200k. But obviously that's before getting to something like elders. Elders is where the majority of the price is going to come from, but if you've got the woodcutting level, just go and woodcut the logs yourself. And then finally we are going to do the elders. I'm just going to check the elder price as well, because elders are quite expensive at the minute. They are a price of 14k. Now obviously if elders have really sort of had their experience change, they really might crash, because the reason why not a lot of people did elders, they are great at KXP, was just because the XP was poor. So 13k, so they're already under mid and by about 1600 GP as well. So it might be a good chance if you've got any plans for doing stuff with elders, whether incense sticks or stuff like that, definitely to have a look at that. Right, so I've pretty much finished the fort, I've finished the wood box, so now all I need to do is go and hunt out the stuff for the new hatchet. So for the new hatchet, I'm going to go to Catherby. I'm just going to get my prayer really quick. There's some things which are also nice with the grove. You have a tree patch near, so if you wanted to put an elder tree there, that's another way for you to get some extra XP and also an extra elder tree. There's an elder tree in the fort as well. Another good update is that they released wood sprites, so things like elders, if you got the sprites to go with it, similar to ore, you're going to get double for your time there, which is pretty good. I'm not quite sure how they've been integrated into the drop system, but obviously that's something we can have a look. I think when I do my Slay series as well, if they're dropped for a monster or a boss drop, we can tie that in and show that's how it's done. The wood boxes, I think it'll be really nice. It's another way just make sure that you're not having to run from the bank every now and then, and you've got ways to do it. The pile of logs at the fort is really nice. It's quite a clever way of doing it as well. And it's nice that Ivy and stuff has had a change in its XP to be more relevant. Obviously, a lot of stuff's been reworked. Hatchets have been rebalanced, so things like Crystal will actually work as a tier 70, and Dragon will work as a tier 60. Trees have been rebalanced and levels have been adjusted as well, so it's got a proper structure to it. And because of that, XP rates have changed. So over time, people will be able to test XP rates and work out which logs are better. For a long time, things like Acadias, Teaks were better XP than sort of your high-end elders and magic trees. I think they've done a bit of a job to sort of adjust that now, just to make it a bit more in line. But things like Golden Bamboo, Crystal, and probably like Ivy, I think got a big update as well. But I think in a week or two, I've got plenty of bonus XP to actually work out for woodcutting. And I do need to get some of these last wheels as well. So I think I'm going to be doing a bit of stint of woodcutting, and then I can do a video later on going through the XP and how it's going to go. We just wanted to talk through one last time the Woodcutters Grove and basically what they're going to bring. For tier 1 will give you access to normal trees and oak trees in the Woodcutters Grove. It'll give you the ability to store log spirits in the wood box, and log piles you can also use to deposit stuff into the bank. Once you discover bird nests, they are automatically placed into the backpack, and you don't have to pick them up while woodcutting, which is quite nice because you will be AFK. Tier 2 will then grant you access to willow trees and yew trees, as well as ivy in the Woodcutters Grove. You'll also get access to the fairy ring, as well as the farming tree patch next to the oak for lumberjack. Bird nest for this point can then be stored in the wood box, so you've got more time to mess around and more space in your info. And because of this as well, rather than go to your info, the bird nest actually go automatically into your wood box. And then finally with tier 3 is when you get the elder tree, you get the ability to get pieces for the hatchet, so there's no point looting your nest until you get tier 3. And then once you've got all your pieces for the Imikado hatchet, you need to go to Fergo, same person you go on to for Matic and for the pickaxe, and then he will put the hatchet together. And off the back of this as well, the force is going to be changing slightly because frames will be able to be made out of logs. I'm not quite seeing that just yet, because all the frames and stuff for the Grove was just for normal stuff. Admittedly, you needed it in a larger quantity than we've seen just yet, but it's nothing too major. But yeah, in terms of an update, it's actually brought some hype to woodcutting. I think the tier 80 hatchet is very long overdue, and it's nice that it's getting the attention it deserved. Obviously, mining and smithing have got it, and it's nice to know that woodcutting is on there as well. Anything added to the fort is really nice. The fort is probably the best update this year, and it will be through all the updates it's going to get. It's nice for doing consistent content, and they're doing it quite well spaced out as well. And one thing I was realising when I was running through my fort today is, considering where it was in Jan, it's really started to pad out and really started to build up, so that's quite cool. And yeah, the XP rate is going to be something nice. So for me, training woodcutting, all it was really was just divine use. I think now the XP is good enough to start training, and I'm quite interested to see like what XP rate you should be getting. But finally, just a couple of tips that I've found just from doing this early. If you've got the GP, just buy the frames and the stones. They are expensive for what they are, but the time save is quite severe, so I would do that, and that's what I did do. Tree shaking scrimshaws are very nice. They're hopefully going to get you the bird nest quite quick. So make sure you're using tree shaking scrimshaws. I bought these for about 900k each, but you do have a chance of getting implants. I got a dragon implant, which made me about just under 500-600k. So that paid off a big chunk of it as well. Make sure to use your rounds, make sure to use your outfit if you have it, because again, bonus XP and stuff like that. Woodcutting cape as well is a good perk, it will give you a chance at more nests. The superheat form prayer is very good because it means you don't have to bank. But obviously you have got stuff like your artifacts, your grace of the elves, your wood box, and also you do have the ability to bank with a pile of logs once you've got the grove unlocked. But in terms of an update, very nice. It's brought people back woodcutting again. It's nice to see people like be sociable and talk while doing some form of skilling. But it's the XP rates we're all really bothered about, so I'm going to get the level 80 hatchet, and then I'll be doing a video maybe in a couple of weeks once I've done a nice stint of woodcutting, probably working through all my bonus XP and also getting quite a lot of these wills. If you haven't seen my video earlier on, we did a video on these last wills and the event which is linked to it. But that is going to be the end of the videos for today. I will do a video later on in the week doing a large loot video because I'm going to be doing quite a big stint of woodcutting. But again, hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, please leave me a like, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon.